Most people think being smart makes life smoother, better conversations, more respect, more connection. Psychology says the opposite. The smarter your mind is, the more likely people are to misunderstand you, not because you're arrogant, not because you're difficult, but because your brain is speaking a language most people don't consciously understand, and that gap creates friction. Here's why intelligent people are often misunderstood and what psychology reveals about it. 1. Their brain jumps ahead while others are still catching up. Highly intelligent minds process information fast, sometimes too fast. While someone is explaining the obvious, your brain has already predicted the outcome, so when you respond, it feels random to them. Psychology calls this cognitive leap processing. You didn't skip logic, you skipped verbalizing it. To you, it's efficient. To others, it feels confusing, even suspicious. That's where misunderstanding begins. 2. They speak in nuance, not absolutes. Most people feel safe with simple answers. Right or wrong, good or bad, us or them. Intelligent minds naturally search for nuance. They see exceptions, contradictions, multiple layers at once. Psychologists call this cognitive complexity. But here's the problem. Nuance sounds like uncertainty to people who need certainty. So you get labeled as overthinking, indecisive, complicated, when in reality you're just seeing the full picture. 3. They ask questions that trigger defensiveness. Smart people don't argue to win. They ask to understand, but their questions go deeper than comfort allows. Why do you believe that? What's the evidence? What if this assumption is wrong? Psychology shows that when beliefs are questioned, people feel an identity threat, not a logical one. So instead of engaging, they protect their ego, and suddenly you are the problem. 4. They do react emotionally the way people expect. Highly intelligent people often process emotions internally before expressing them. They pause, reflect, analyze. To outsiders, that pause feels cold, detached, uncaring. Psychologists call this cognitive emotional regulation. You're not emotionless, you're processing before responding. But in a world that rewards instant reactions, calm looks like indifference, and that misunderstanding sticks. 5. They get bored by conversations that go nowhere. Small talk isn't bad, but for intelligent minds, it's mentally draining. Same topics, same opinions, no exploration. Psychology refers to this as a high need for cognition, a strong drive for meaningful thinking. When you disengage, people assume arrogance. In reality, your brain is starving for substance. 6. They change their mind when new information appears. Most people treat opinions like identity. Changing your mind feels like weakness, but intelligent minds prioritize accuracy over ego. Psychologists call this intellectual humility, one of the strongest indicators of high-level thinking. To others, it looks inconsistent. You said something different before. Yes, because now you know more. 7. They think long-term in a short-term world. Most people make decisions emotionally and immediately. Intelligent minds simulate outcomes, consequences, patterns, future impact. Psychology labels this future-oriented cognition. So when you hesitate, when you don't jump on trends or impulsive choices, you're called boring, cautious, distant. But you're simply calculating outcomes others haven't seen yet. The core reason here's the real explanation. Smart people aren't misunderstood because they're smarter. They're misunderstood because of a processing mismatch. Different speed, different depth, different layer of thinking. Most communication happens on the surface. Intelligent minds often operate underneath it. When those layers don't align, connection feels strained, even when intentions are good. Final truth, being misunderstood isn't proof of intelligence. But if you consistently feel out of sync in conversations, frustrated by shallow thinking, misjudged for asking deeper questions, psychology suggests your mind may be operating differently than most. The world rewards loud certainty, but intelligence often moves quietly and gets mistaken for distance. Most people will hear this and scroll away. A few will pause and reflect. Those few usually think differently. Subscribe, because here we explain the psychology behind what you've felt your whole life, but never had words for.